Hello guys, and welcome to another video on the glorious N52 from BMW. So today we're going to be doing the oil cooler gasket. I have left this for ages since I've owned the car, 5 months, and the telltale signs I've been having is a leak underneath down the front of the engine. I've also having pooling around behind here where the filter is. Both not good, and if left could affect the belts, could make them slip off, and could cause potential issues. In the summer, as it's getting warmer, I can smell this as well. It is not very delightful when I'm sending the car when it's warmer either. So that is some of the reasons why today we're getting this done. As always with BMW, if you don't know what you should always be doing, and I will slap you if you don't, is you should be getting your genuine BMW bits. So these are genuine BMW gaskets. So we've got one for the oil cooler and one for the oil filter housing gasket. So there's many ways of doing this. This is obviously different for every engine. This is going to be specifically for my 130i and the setup I've got here. And we're going to do a tour and a guide of how to go through and do this. So first of all, what we want to do is remove the airbox and the cold air feed intake pipe, whatever you want to call it, so we have more access to the oil cooler. But before you do any of that, you want to make sure your engine's cold. Mine's still slightly warm. I can't help the situation of I found myself in today with the car, but I have left it to get as cold as possible while there's still some light going. So the first thing we want to do is we want to loosen the oil filter cap in order to let some of the oil, whatever's left in here, drain its way out. So we're going to do that first. So that is it loosened. Now I'm going to remove all of the apparatus out of the way, the intake box, the intake pipe, so we have access to work on this. So it's 4 220s down inside here on either side, 2 10s over here, and then a 7mm on the hose which attacks the intake boot onto the throttle body. What we want to do is slide the clip across onto the end of the throttle body so you don't lose it when you pull the airbox out. That should be to give you a live demo of it all coming out now. Probably looking disastrous, but give it a crack. So this, sometimes you have to use a flathead to pry into here. You shouldn't really do it because this rubber with the constant hot and cold use can break or can warp, but we're just using it to get it off this lip. Same for the other side as well, very gently. There you go. Oh, that's gone back on that side. There you go. Still trying to get back up. It's back on that side again. See, I told you, so you do it on camera. You can't do it properly. Let's work this one. Okay. Obviously keep all your bits for safe storage somewhere. I'm going to put it back here. And the airbox, I'm going to pull out like this. Oh, I forgot to mention in fact, unclip the sensor off of the back of the airbox. Otherwise you won't be taking that nowhere. I've just lost a Jubilee clip somewhere. I'm just about to cry. Where I've lost that to, I will not know for now. Oh, there it is, right down there. Bottom of the engine. Yeah, this is why we don't do stuff like this on video, guys, because it all goes tits up. There we go. So like I was saying with this, you want this hanging off the end of the boot here, look, for your front body. So it's nice and safe. It doesn't fall down there like I just did. Now guys, the next recommendation is to remove the belt. I'm not going to because I'm lazy, so I'm going to cover it. I've got a cloth. I'd recommend taking the belt off, but I really can't be arsed with putting the belt back on without a spare hand here. So I'm going to be covering it over to protect the oil and coolant, which is going to be coming out of here very soon. While you're at it, I forgot to mention this. If you do have this on your BMW, you just pull straight off to reveal the oil cooler, like so. And then we're going to find the right size socket, E-socket for this, which I'll tell you in just a minute. I think it's an E12, but I will let you know. Okay guys, as you can see, it's covered. Covered the belts. So if you can see here, I've got my 2 lovely new Vanos solenoids. If you want to watch that video, I'm going to put a link above now. and let's get on with this. So, E12. I gotta say now again, yet again, guys, I haven't learned, I haven't prepped, I haven't got gloves. I'm gonna suffer from this massively. I'd really recommend gloves because this is gonna be really messy in a moment, and I am so not prepared for this, which is just not good enough. So please make sure you wear gloves. It's just gonna save you so much hassle, and you'll see the hard way why in a minute. E12. Mine is it's not long enough to reach, or it reaches but not very well, so I have to be careful when I come to ratchet that off there. If you've got a deeper one, that would be better. I haven't, so hopefully this will be enough. One there, one here. There's one below, which is actually here, where my finger is. It's going to be a difficult one to get to. So let's see what attachments we need from our E12. So I've got a 1/2 inch socket, we've got an adapter, and then we're running the E12 with a very small extender, like so. So for this one I had to use a 1/4 inch ratchet onto an adapter onto the extender because it was an absolute bugger and I couldn't get it underneath. So you want to remove the bottom one first. There's never an order, but the bottom one's most awkward. The only pro about covering this up down here, guys, is that if you do drop your nuts, you catch them safe. So this one's going to come out first, then these two all loosened, ready to then pry this loose in just a moment. There we are. So that's 3 of them removed. Keep them safe. You don't want to lose those. Then I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver to pry the cooler away from the filter. Obviously, we are going to get a load of fluid come out, so be ready and prepared for that. Now, as to where to push it away from, there's a nice gap in it. Ah, there we go. Cool. Wasn't even a struggle. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. Fuck. Oh, shit. Fucking pissing out it is. There we go, guys. So we're going to pry this up out of the way over here for a minute. Oh, that's still going. Fuck. Yeah, I would. Oh, shit. Right. Try and pour the fluids out before you twist it up over here. It's still going to piss me off. Bloody hell. Stay there. This is like the worst YouTube video ever. Anyway. Fucking hell. Oh, shit. So, there we go. That's in the side of that there. We're next going to take off the sensor from here, which is a push button, and you pull it away from the sensor mounting. So the next recommendation is from George Astor's, which is to remove these 2 10mm nuts off of the coolant feed here. This will then come out and gives you access to the 3rd bolt for the filter housing. So there's a bolt hidden underneath here, one on the top which is visible, and then one tucked directly down the back underneath the 3-stage manifold. So by removing this, guys, it's going to give you better access and reduce the risk of rounding any nuts. So there's 2 10mm on either side of this hose, which seems to go on forever. But a bad surprise, guys, this hose over here, the interior of the cap of this hose is completely ruptured. I'm just hoping when I reseal this, this will seal enough to keep the coolant from flowing out of the engine. But we will see, as that is not good. That is ruptured. I know you can buy these adapters offline, which I'm going to probably have to get, and then reconnect the hose onto that, but hopefully that will be okay. Otherwise we'll have to replace this joint here. So we can now have access up underneath here to the final nut to be able to remove the unit up and off. So what we're going to do is retighten this back on now. Just tight enough. And then we're going to remove the nuts to get to this. Don't you love it, guys, when it's raining? Freaking awesome. So an E11 will be what you'll need to remove the last 3 bolts before I might have to stop this for a minute while I temporarily get soaked. Yeah, E11, guys, is what you need to remove the 3 nuts to get the rest of the housing off. just got rained in the eye then. So this one is the top one. Just on top. That's that one. I don't know whether that's the medium or the large one, but I'll confirm in a minute. And now you can see why you need to wear gloves is just disastrous. So guys, it turns out that the one at the back is the medium sized one. Oh my gosh. I had to get to that with retrieving it with a magnet because I was scared about losing it, obviously. Really recommend having one of these magnet tools. But I'm just going to put this away before I lose it in a minute. I had to do it with a load of wobble bars. There you go. So I had the E11 socket on 2 wobble bars enabled to get it up there, and I had it in like that. I was rushing it like that. Like so. An absolute fiddle that was. And there it is. All off there like that. So what I want to do is get a tool to prise out these, and I'm going to focus on cleaning up around the leak area and getting this all ready and clean to install the new seals. There we are then, so flipping heck. So try and use a little spanner or a flathead of some sort, but it's actually quite difficult to it's very difficult actually. See, what I want to do is use a flathead, like I said, to try and pry out the seal without damaging the metal housing for the seal, which is proving a bit difficult. So there it is, guys. Now these seals are feeling awful. Oh gosh. Look how hard it is in there. There we go. Now these seals, no joke, they feel about as hard as plastic. These are meant to be rubbery, obviously. So you can see a bit of leakage at the bottom here there. These have probably never been done on a car at all, so that's one seal out there. No signs of tears or damage in the seal, but definitely this has been what's part of causing my leak. So you can go over there. So the next aim is to clear all this out, and we want to clear all the gullyways up in here, so we can fit the new seal nice and flush to make sure we don't have any leaks. At the same time as doing this, we want to make sure that we're cleaning the surrounding areas, making sure that we're not getting any residue inside the oil filter housing here. It could potentially cause a block up when we come to restart the car. This is the seal that's been causing the most leakage. You can see it all the way along here, across the top of the filter housing where it's been leaking onto here, and underneath here it's been leaking through underneath here as well. There it goes, and the oil for this one as well. Again, these seals feel rock hard. This seal's probably causing more problems. I've had a leak through here and underneath here down the front of the engine, so these 2 points here have been causing me leakage. Time to clean up, get it prepped, get the new seals on and put it back together. So here's one of the new seals, lovely and fresh, rubbery as you would imagine, but that is a complete difference compared to the seals that we've taken out. The seals just firmly pressed into place, front seals back on, front seal as well. Back in place, pressed it. When we apply the bolts back on, we want to do it in a periodic fashion, adjusting them all equally at the same time, so we don't apply too much torque and pressure to one end, because we could risk damaging the seal. So we want to go on there and tighten them all equally until it's tight. We're reinstalling this one, the large, let's go to the top. The smallest is going into the bottom. And then the medium is going around into the back, which is the fiddly one. We're going to torque these to 20 Newton meters. It's going to be difficult to do it with the one on the rear, but I'll give it a go. So once the E11 sockets are in, the 3 at the back, front and on the top, don't forget to torque them, which I've now done, and remember to plug the oil pressure sensor back in, otherwise that would be a disaster. Make sure it's pushed in. You can test by trying to see if the metal clip is clipped out, so that's back in. So it's now time to apply the oil cooler gasket against the oil cooler. Last thing to do, like I forgot to mention, was to put the 2 terminal nuts back in and to put the cooler hose back on. Hopefully this won't leak. I'm ever so worried about that. So guys, almost there. Once the coolant hose is back on in place, that happened. That might well leak. That happened, guys. That may well cause a leak, so I may have to go and buy another one of those from BMW tomorrow. The car may not be drivable, we will see. But these are actually a common fault to go on these, and mine has. So that's the seal that sits inside of that plastic housing for the coolant hose there. Not good, guys. You should probably check yours and get yours replaced. You can buy an aluminium unit online, or you can go to BMW and get a new plastic one, which again will do this in the end, but not for a while. So we'll see in a minute whether the coolant leak is going to be too bad to drive the car. We will see. So I'm going to hand tighten the filter back down because I've got the space at the minute. And I'm going to tighten it up with the ratchet I've got for it, and then I'm going to apply this to finish off.